Hello, hello, hello. I shared a lot of important information in my daily news report earlier today, so make sure to catch that video to stay in the loop on what's going on in Washington, D.C. Since then, I have a few new updates that I want to share at the beginning of this video that I believe apply to most of the people that watch my channel. Then I want to talk about a group I think has really good upside potential that you might want to get involved with before 2022, because I think over the next 10 years, you're going to see this particular company do really, really well. Before I go too further into this video, I'd like to thank Prospect Ridge Resources for sponsoring this video. Okay, first, President Biden announced today that they are gathering data about the new Omicron variant coming out of Africa, but he said he doesn't expect there to be a big spread like we saw over the summer with the Delta, the COVID Delta variant. He also announced he does not plan to do lockdowns like other nations are doing right now. New York said, we're ready to lock down at a moment's notice. Different parts of Europe are saying we're locking down. And there was fear in the stock market. There was fear in the community, fear here in our own home. And so he has announced that he does not plan to do lockdowns like these other nations. Even if this thing does end up being bigger than expected, they want to go about it differently than we did in 2020. Now, I know that the lockdowns have been hard on many people's mental and financial health, or their businesses or their jobs. And so I wanted to release this new information to you right away. I also wanted to share that many analysts believe the government will figure out the debt ceiling and government shutdown situation. Even if the government has to do what's called a continuing resolution, where they fund the government for just a few months at a time, they're going to get through it. I've seen a lot of people in the comment section talking about this. I've seen it on the news, and the news pitches this with so much fear. There's going to be chaos everywhere, stock market drops, no one's getting their checks, just fear, fear, fear. And so I just wanted to come on and share that many analysts believe, hey, they've gotten through this every single time. They're likely going to get through it again. I want to bring some good, positive, calming information to my community. Now, keep in mind that the government, whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent, the government does not want to shut down. This would cause major panic within the stock market, within the Main Street businesses, the communities. There are a lot of people that depend on the government to make those payments for Social Security benefits. So there's a lot of people attached to the federal government's debt ceiling and funding situation. And so I wanted to bring that to your attention. I do want to be honest, though. I do think it's going to get dicey over the next couple of weeks. And I'll be here to truthfully report to you what's going on. But I don't want there to be panic or fear within my YouTube community, because historically, they've always gotten it done, and I believe that they will as well. So just wanted to share that information with you as well. Now, the stock market is reacting positively to this news from President Biden. Last Friday, it was announced and the market dropped. I lost a tremendous amount of money. But then today I saw it come back, and some of the stocks I was able to buy are actually up higher. And so I was able to make a nice little profit on that dip. Now, the biggest changes we've seen in the market over the past couple of years had to do with COVID, the lockdown, the Delta variant, this new potential variant, and the Federal Reserve announcing that they might taper funding to the stock market or to the liquidity markets, and also this potential interest rate raising. So for most, when this dropped, it was a great time to get back into the game or get into the game for the first time. Now, today I want to tell you about stock ticker symbol PRRSF. The stock is currently trading at $1.15 as of the filming of this video. This is Prospect Ridge, and it is a gold mining group that I believe has a lot of upside potential for patient investors, and wanted to bring it to your attention. Now, why have I been telling you about so many mining stocks lately? Well, Wall Street analyst firm Motley Fool said mining stocks will likely be a very hot sector of the stock market in 2022. So I'm researching these mining companies now to get my own money positioned for what could happen in 2022 and beyond. And I believe that mining is going to be a hot sector and wanted to bring that to your attention. However, when it comes to mining stocks, I also know that a lot of their success has to do with their location and also their leadership story or their leadership team. And that helps me decide whether to put money with these companies or not. And I believe that Prospect Ridge Resources has both of these. So let me share that with you. Now, the mining site is located in British Columbia in an area named the Golden Triangle. It's an area that few groups have permits to mine in because it's off the beaten path. And it's very hard to get into, but this group already has their mining equipment set up there. And because of this and the way that the land was formed over the last 10,000 to 100,000 years, this area is rich in gold and in copper, right? Gold is great for technology, electric cars, storing your wealth, hedging against inflation. And copper is probably the number one money maker when it comes to base metals, because you need copper for anything that has to do with electricity or computers or anything high tech, right? And so this region has proven itself as being rich in these minerals when it comes to mining. In fact, this is pretty cool. There are at least 7 mining groups in this Golden Triangle region worth over $350 million. And 2 or 3 of them are multi-billion-dollar firms. One of them is a $2.5 billion firm. There's not a lot of billion-dollar companies. And to have a billion-dollar mining company right next door to this one, I think there's going to be a lot of wealth creation coming out of this region, and wanted to make you aware of it. Okay, so this is where I think it gets really interesting when it comes to Prospect Ridge Resources. The owner, Michael Iverson, has 30 plus years of mining experience. And he co-founded a group in the 90s named Fortuna Silver Mining. He built this firm up and then sold it off to a much larger mining group. The company went from $0 and just an idea in somebody's head to now being worth $2.5 billion. It's a $2.5 billion mining operation. Mr. Iverson then retired in 2016 from mining. That is, until he was introduced to this opportunity in the Golden Triangle. And he moved very quickly using his family's money and resources and his network of connections to get into this. And he came out of retirement because he sees so much potential in this mining area. Mr. Iverson also sees this personally as his opportunity to leave a legacy of multi-generational wealth. So he's using his own wealth to parlay it into even more wealth, right? Now, he personally owns 60% of the company's stock and is very hands-on when it comes to the operations day to day. Now, I will tell you this, that companies that are led by their founder always outperform companies that are not. So think of like Apple, think of like Amazon, think of like Tesla, these big names you hear about all the time. They were run for many, many years by their founder. And that's what we have going on here right now. In fact, this group is already valued at over $1 billion and they have no debt, right? So just an incredible opportunity. Now, the rest of the management team is really great as well. But when I look at the group, I like to personally think, if I'm putting my money into this, how is it going to grow? How has it grown in the past? And what's the exit plan with this particular company? Now, I see this group growing over the next decade into a profitable mining operation, or being scooped up and bought out like Mr. Iverson's other silver company by a bigger mining operation. Either way, I wanted to bring this group to your attention. I also love the fact that they're already set up. They're already starting to mine. This group's been in business for a while, but they carry no debt. right? Which is really big because debt can bog you down. And the owner has just his own wealth tied up in making this a success. And that's a big deal, right? When the owner has his own family fortune on the line, that guy is going to outwork somebody who just raised a bunch of capital from strangers, right? So for those reasons, I think that this could be really great. Now, I'm curious, had you heard of Prospect Ridge Resources before this video? If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. The stock can be found on major platforms like TD Ameritrade or Fidelity, and you want to look up ticker symbol PRRSF. You can also be kept in the loop by going to their website, or they have an update feed that you can check out for what's going on with the drilling success, management, new capital raised, success in finding gold or copper by going to prrsfnews.com, and I'll leave that as a link below as well. Prospect Ridge Resource isn't a new company, but they are new when it comes to the public stock markets with this new owner, Michael Iverson. So I see this as a ground floor opportunity with incredible management and an incredible region that we know has gold and copper, and it's just a great opportunity. Also, many of you have told me in the comments section of other videos that you want to be better with your money, but you don't have a lot of money. And you've told me about how you're struggling because of the rising cost of food and gas prices and all this talk of electric cars. So I'm going to be sharing a strategy here in a couple of days that I use with my private coaching clients on how to use cars, yes, cars, to build a nest egg, an emergency fund, and family wealth. And you're not going to want to miss that video. So that's something everybody can do. Whether you want to be in the stock market or not, this is a great way to build wealth using cars. And I'll tell you more about that. Now, of course, I'll continue to keep you updated on what's going on in Washington, D.C. and the U.S. economy every day of the week. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a like and let me know in the comments what are you doing with your money that's been successful, and maybe it will become one of my future videos. Now, before you go, do check out the links for Prospect Ridge Resources, also the link to my community cash giveaway that will be ending here in the next couple of days. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you are amazing. I appreciate you being in my community, and I'll see you on the next video.